my name is Scott Anderson, and I just made 3 pneumatic tennis ball launchers, and I made these to get a dipole antenna very high up in a tree. This is the first one. Here we have the pressure chamber, and here we have the barrel, and I put on the handle here that you can see to aim and shoot. I put a coupler on here, and I have a sprinkler valve, which is slightly modified, with a little valve right here that shoots it. Basically, you fill it full of air, no more than 80 to 100. I usually do 80 psi. Both the pressure chamber and the tube say on it, not for gas. So I'm not recommending you use it, but if you stay within 80 to 100 psi, I don't think it will explode. The operating pressure here is around 250 psi. So basically, you'd hold it up like this, and you'd put the tennis ball in here like this and ramrod it down, and then you just hold this right here, and you just shoot it. And this is my second tennis ball launcher. In fact, if you look on the internet and Google pneumatic tennis ball launcher, I got the idea from a couple guys on the internet, so I'd like to give them credit. It's definitely not my idea. Here's a little bit different design, and I actually painted it because I made some mistakes when I put it together. Here we have the pressure chamber underneath, we have the barrel up here, and here's the release that actually fires it. This again is a different type of sprinkler valve. They call it an anti-siphon sprinkler valve. And I did it this way so I wouldn't have any couplers in here, and I tried to make it with the least amount of parts possible. So basically, you fill it full of air. Let's see, where's the knob? Right here. And you could use a bicycle air pump. And I have a CO2 canister I fill it with. This is a pressure gauge that tells you don't fill it above 80 to 100 psi. Again, you put the tennis ball in and ramrod it down. And you hold it up here and you just aim it like that and you just fire. My third and final pneumatic tennis ball launcher. It is the shortest and the lightest, and actually it shoots the farthest. Basically, you have the pressure chamber up here, you have the pressure gauge here, and the intake here for the air, and you have the barrel down here on the bottom. And here's the trigger here. I got most of these parts here at Harbor Freight, and this is a swivel valve here. You can just put it any way you want it. Basically, you put the tennis ball in here, ram it down, put air in it, pull it up there, and fire. Again, I would use no more than 80 to 100 pounds per square inch. This is rated at 260 psi, but it's rated for liquid. Now, if this explodes with liquid in it, it's just going to spring a leak. If it explodes with pressure in it, it's going to blow up in shrapnel. So again, be very careful and don't inflate it too much. The second thing I'd like to caution you is don't use this in cold weather, because in cold weather, it lowers the operating parameters of this, and if it's 30 degrees out and you put too much air in here, it could blow up and really hurt yourself. So be careful of that. Don't use it in very cold temperatures, and don't overinflate it. Other than that, it seems to be perfectly safe. Here's a tennis ball. What I've done is I've put 22 pennies in it. If you Google this on the internet, you can see where they say 22 pennies is the maximum amount you want to put in to get the best height, and it has to fall through the trees and branches with a fishing line on it. So I took a little X-Acto knife and I made a cut right in here, and I put in 22 pennies. You really don't have to glue up this tennis ball because the pennies are not going to come out. Then I took a big old fishing needle, or sewing needle I guess you would say for leather, and I put it through the tennis ball, and then I put a piece of twine here, and that's what you attach your fishing line to. This is the fishing reel, and this couples on to the barrel of the tennis ball launcher, and this actually goes onto the tennis. We have the fishing reel, which I got at Walmart for like 10 bucks. It's incredible. I've attached it to the tennis ball so you can see this is how it works. So I'm going to release the drag on it a little bit right here, so it pulls out. Pretty easy, like that. There you go. Now, I'm going to take the pneumatic tennis ball launcher, and you want to put the ball in before you put... So, this kind of turns in here like this, and then here is the plunger. Now, I made this from standard PVC tube you can buy anywhere, any hardware store. Basically, you hold it, and then you just plunge it down in there, like that. Make it sure it's nice and tight. And then, here is the coupler, and this just goes on here like this. So, now we have our tennis ball launcher with the tennis ball attached to the fishing line. So when you shoot this, you're going to get that line over the tallest tree. So what I'm doing now is I have a paintball gun CO2 canister here, And on top of here is a valve that you can buy on the internet for $100. And I just pieced this together here with pieces you can buy at a hardware store. This is just basically a bicycle pump valve. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to plug it in and attach it to the pressure chamber. And I'm going to open it up. And I'm putting air in it right now. Okay. Now instead of using the paintball canister and this valve I bought, if you don't want to spend the money, you can go down to any store and buy a high pressure bicycle pump. Single pump up to 100 pounds per square inch with no problem. So basically what I'm going to do, as you can see, I've got my tennis ball in the barrel. I've got my reel attached with the coupler. I'm going to pump some air in here, and it's quite simple. You just attach it like that. Then you just pump. And it really takes not too many pumps. That's 80 pounds per square inch. So we're all set. It's all loaded up. One of the things I caution you is when you shoot this thing, make sure you have the bail of the reel back. I can't tell you how many times I've shot this and forgot about that, and the line snapped. It's probably about 70 feet tall, and this is going to pose no problem for the pneumatic tennis ball launcher. What I'm going to do is launch a little fishing line over the top of that tree. It'll come down the other side. Okay, here we go now. As you can see, I've got everything loaded up. I've got my reel here. And so now, getting ready for the shot. Here's my trigger right here, and this is basically just a little air hose sprayer that you can put on any compressor. You can buy at Walmart or any store for $5. I've taken the tip off to let more air in. It's really easy to trigger. So, I'm loaded up here. Just kind of aim it over the top of the tree. And there it goes. Go get it, Chica. Go get it. Okay, here's my dog bringing back the ball. It makes it a lot easier when you're shooting these things in the park. In fact, I use this tennis ball launcher to exercise my dog. Okay, here we are. Shoot over about a 70-foot tree. And there we go. Way high. So there you have it. Pneumatic tennis ball launcher to raise up any wire antenna over the tallest tree you can find. You can get most of these parts at any plumbing supply shop, hardware store, Home Depot. You can build it in your garage in a matter of hours. It's quite simple. Again, I didn't design this. You Google pneumatic tennis ball launcher and you're going to find out there's just a ton of information, many pages, step-by-step operations on how to make these things from A to Z. If you really enjoy it, it's very safe, and good luck, and thanks for watching. Have a great year.